Hello, everybody. We have a crowd here already. I titled this "Rage Stream" with Edwin Boyette. So
I must break you, Mitch.
The rage stream. So everybody here is angry. So this is actually a bait and switch. This is we're gonna do ASMR. Nice. Everyone is gonna do ASMR about how angry we are at Edwin being attacked by trolls on the internet.
It will be all right.
It'll be all right.
Though while we're doing ASMR, may I say that you're looking rather jacked tonight, Mitch?
I did just come back from a workout, nice. So I'm feeling kind of sore. I don't know about jacked. Mike, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling well enough. I just came back from the beach. I got my chill on, so you know, had to decompress from San Diego. But so for those who don't know, what is ASMR?
I don't know what it stands for, but it's when you whisper into the microphone and it tingles your ears.
A wild
just to listen with headphones.
My daughter
did she appear?
What is it even?
It was a rare Elizabeth. Collect them all.
Hold on. My daughter's a teenager. She knows these things.
Okay.
Some people have this thing where they get this sensation in the back of their neck when they hear certain sounds. And it could be whispering or like crunching sounds or like there's a bunch of different.
What does it stand for? Audio stimulation.
Yeah, something like that. It's,
Somebody in the chat's gonna know.
She's looking it up for us.
Okay.
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Autonomous
sensory meridian response. Thank you, DLS master. He knows all.
That's what my daughter said.
Yeah, meridian response. I think that's the bone or a muscle, or I don't know what it is that causes a nerve. Maybe it's the nerve that causes the tingling sensation.
The meridian indicates position. Does it have anything to do with where it's registering in the brain?
It could be. Maybe it's like a part of your equilibrium that it messes with. Speaking of sensations and that are stimulating, how was Comic-Con, Mike Miller?
Comic-Con. I mean, for me, it was slow, and for most of the people that I talked to, it was slow. I was watching some of Ethan's thing when he read some article saying that, you know, like Marvel, Lucas, somebody else didn't show, and so it was just like, you know, oh, room for other people to shine. But really, when you don't have that excitement, and I've been talking about this for the past couple days on various streams. We talked about it last night, Edwin and I. I think the blush is off the rose because you know, we've had this 10-year growth of the Avengers, you know, from Iron Man to Thor, everything just sort of accumulating till we got to Infinity War, and then it was like, you know, and people are just like, chill now because it's over. That's what we've been working towards, and yeah, we have the next Avengers movie, but we have, you know, Marvel's not promoting it. There's nothing out about it yet, as far as I know. They certainly didn't announce anything at this show, and so their non-presence was felt. But I don't think it was just San Diego. I think it's been all year.
Yeah. So you think the enthusiasm has been shot out of a cannon, made a few $1 billion, and has now hit and splattered itself against the brick wall of
consumer
fandom.
Yeah. And, you know, I was saying I don't think it's going to crash because it wasn't like, you know, Batman and Robin killed it last time around. But I think we're in for a correction. And, you know, all the big boys at Marvel and DC, they're taking their balls and going home. Iron Man's not coming back. Captain America's not coming back. So they're going to have some second tier launch for Marvel to sustain or to rebuild a growth market in this particular.
We know you're one of those horrible Comicsgate people, so I would be careful about suggesting someone having balls or not having balls at Marvel. That's probably some sort of social justice war crime.
Did I say that?
Well, you said something about taking their balls and going home, and so that implies that someone at Marvel might have balls.
Doesn't have the balls I was referring to.
Which I think suggesting that someone working at Marvel now has balls might be a wild stretch of the imagination.
Speaking of big balls, we have Nasser 13 is in the chat. He says Edwin follows me on Twitter, but Mitch and Mike don't. So that's pretty ballsy. To shame me on my own YouTube channel. Yeah. Maybe if you keep on that, I might follow you back.
Yeah, came into your house and told you what's up, Mitch.
Yeah, that guy, he's got a swinging pair. All right. Umbrella guy is in the chat. Umbrella, did you get the invite on Twitter? You want in? You want in on this?
Come get a piece, Umbrella.
Come on down.
In fact, don't just get a piece. Get the whole thing.
So what do you think?
So otherwise, I mean,
what do you think is
San Diego was still
the next step then? What do you think people are going to want? Let's throw this one to Edwin. So if Comic-Con, if the blush is off the rose, what do people want next, Edwin?
So here's my read on this. Here's my read. All these comic book movies were for us, but they were for normies too. And the comic book companies made no effort to capitalize this on their print side. And me and Mike Miller were talking about this last night. Imagine if every time you walked into a theater and you bought a ticket for whether it was Justice League, Wonder Woman, Avengers, Black Panther, along with your ticket, somebody handed you like a 12-page or even a full-length comic book. You're talking about people. You would talk about putting millions and millions. I mean, it probably would have been 100 million comic books put in everybody's hands. Half of America could have been exposed to the idea of picking up printed comic books for entertainment, and nobody did it. Am I wrong? For any single movie, did anybody do any kind of giveaway of comic books at the theater?
No, not that I know of.
They gave away like little books with like merchandise and stuff. Isn't that right? You know, those little
like an
little book you got for the Avengers movie, where you can. You know what? I'll be right back. I have one in the other room. Let me go grab one.
Well, what a wasted opportunity. So I think what you saw is the movie-going public that wants to watch superhero movies and comic book fans. There is some slight overlap in the Venn diagram, but these are still largely two different audiences. And the comic book companies did not take advantage of this phenomena to grow their audience. In fact, we've seen the opposite, right? For the large publishing houses, their audience has decreased, even while all these movies were in the theater and wildly successful. So the people who want to purchase comic books are different, at least to some degree, than most of the people who go to the theater. Now, what these people want, well, it's not what Marvel and DC has been producing for the most part, right? Because people have pulled back from that. So I think they want a different kind of experience. They want a deeper experience, or they want a more authentic version of whatever you're offering. Because what you're offering might be something silly, but if it's silly, they want it well done. If it's serious, they want it well done. At least in our community, the expectation is that there will be not only artistic and writing excellence, right? Those have to be there. But there has to be a willingness to engage your consumers or your patrons with just a fundamental level of respect, right? Fundamental levels. It's got to be there. It's a must.
Right.
But do you think
So-
the public, the general public that goes to see these movies and doesn't go into the comic book store, do you think they're getting tired? Think they're getting tired?
I think so, because I can remember when we used to get so excited about like any potential superhero-ish movie that might even come out. Like I can remember when stuff was what was there? It was like Freaks of Science, and then there was a show called Alphas. And I remember when that Hero show came out, I mean, we were all like excited for this stuff because you had to wait to see something, and it might even be like a horrible version of like some kind of superhero property, but you were still stoked because it was about superheroes. So you were willing to forgive all these sins. Now there's a saturation. The stuff is very well done, but it's so saturated, what is it? Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, here's the so this is what they gave away at the Avengers movie, right?
Okay.
It's a movie bill. It's numbered and limited to 2,400 copies, so it's a collector's item. But it's a freaking, I mean, it says scan to unlock the movie magic, so you can like scan in and like see like little 3D images or whatever. But look at this thing. It is basically an advertising, slightly, it's got information about the songs, the soundtrack, the actors, some background story. None of the stuff you can buy. It's an advertisement, information, article, and zero. Oh, Solo. There's Solo.
Unlock the magic. Huh?
Incredibles 2, Disney crap, and Geico. So
Who paid
here
for it
was
all?
their opportunity, giving away a product. They could have, even alluded to the fact that this was a comic book, or advertised for comic books, or done something. But Disney, like I say, I really think that
Disney doesn't have any interest in it. I mean, why would they?
Marvel's a write-off, and I don't think they care to promote the comic books themselves.
I don't think they should care. I don't think that they should care. They're far too big to care. They're making billions of dollars off these things.
Yeah, but they bought Marvel because they're the house of ideas. Marvel created. Well,
yeah. I mean, I think they bought Marvel. Here's my theory. I mean, let me throw this out there, and you can shoot holes in it. They bought Marvel because Disney became a princess company and a 3D animation company, and they had no boys' toys. They had nothing for that age group, so they just bought the whole set of Marvel boys' toys, and made all these killer movies and made billions of dollars with boys' toys, and rounded out the whole Disney line of properties with Star Wars and Marvel, and now they have right, and that's my theory as to what it really was.
It's a good, yeah. I'm sure you're right. I'm sure that's true. But I think that if you're going to invest, you don't just invest in the current properties. I mean, maybe this is just me, because the way I think is I try to think long term.
Yeah.
But if you're going to invest, you invest in this house of ideas that has produced some of the greatest, most iconic characters in fiction of the last century. And, try to find a way to invest to make sure that they keep producing great stuff rather than just saying, okay, we own your stuff and we don't care what happens to you. Go off on your SJW tangents, alienate everyone, destroy the entire industry. We don't care because we already made freaking $20 billion off of your products.
So are we at this point now when Disney needs refreshed ideas about Marvel, that rather than pulling in somebody who's actually working in Marvel, they'll pull in one of you guys? Because
I want that license to Captain America one of these days. So
yeah, I wanted the license to Fighting American, and then Titan Comics got it. The British company got the Fighting American license, and I was like,
to be honest, I'm not really interested in any of Marvel's licenses because my current trajectory, I've had all these theories, and now I'm into a point where I'm testing them all. Right now, I'm market testing the Red Rooster, my Golden Age hero comic book about a mystery man who has a. Just read it. I put the link in the chat. Go check it out. But here's my theory: is that people at a certain point, these things run their course. The gods were not the gods forever. The Greek gods were not the Roman gods. The Egyptian gods were not the Greek gods, but they were all very, very similar in many, many ways. They're just reskinned, like you reskin a video game. They only last so long. They only exhaust their metaphors on a public for so many generations. And now you need replacements. You need replacement entertainment. You need the culture, I think, is desiring it. At a certain point, these things just run out of steam. And once you've grossed billions and billions of dollars, you have satiated all the market demand that is available, right? And they may be around for a long time. Their resonance will carry for many, many years and perhaps generations. But the adventure seeking, the thrill seeking, those looking to satiate new desires will be far more open to new characters, new storylines, new opportunities, new IP. I have no interest in Marvel's IP personally. I have a much larger interest in selling people on new IP, things that I create and my friends create, and building a new avenue and cultivating a new audience.
It's only partially accurate, though, because you believe in Jungian archetypes. So you believe that there's these, one of your views is that there's these classical archetypes of heroes, or villains, or all kinds of roles. And it is one way to look at the way, people move through their lives and move through stories and stuff. And when people hit these archetypes well, or characters hit these archetypes well, these stories get remembered for an eternity, or at least for the documented history of man. And so, in as an example, I give you Beowulf, right? Ripper, terror. We have Thor. Once worshipped, and I guess worshipped again by Odinist and Brodnist. He's a character out of epic Norse sagas, right? That you can read about. Who's actually in the sagas, he's more of a trickster than he is just a straight up brawler. For a learned man, you might be aware of the Epic of Gilgamesh.
And Enkidu. I know all about it. The wild man, Enkidu. I have a wild man in my story.
Almost everyone is familiar with Hercules, right? Everyone is familiar with Hercules. So there's King Arthur, right? King Arthur, Robin Hood. We're aware of some of these characters who occupy certain spaces and fill certain roles, and they can persist for obviously hundreds, if not thousands, of years in the imagination and memory of man. But these are the peak examples. These characters tend to be so powerful and so resonant that they have that staying power.
Yeah, the originators.
Yeah.
But I think all of those stories, including Gilgamesh and Enkidu especially, are resonances from our ancient man, right? There are deep-seated and inborn and genetically coded fears that they're tapping into of the snake, cat, monster, dragon, scary tribe over the hill with the weird dances and the strange body paint, right? Or starving, or the harvest crops failing, or whatever, right?
Just for illustration purposes, and I'm sure Chet would agree with me, we want to see the strange Brightweiser tribe dance.
It looks a lot like a chicken dance. So if somebody will spend some money on chicken books, I might do it. Link is in the chat.
You're right, though. You're right. There's certain things that hit us. They bypass right here, and they hit us right back here and in the heart. Right? They get your heart moving, your blood pumping, and they hit you in a real visceral way.
Yeah. And then we reskin them. I mean, there's a small screenwriting pamphlet that I find extremely valuable, and people poo-poo this all the time. It's called Save the Cat, and people, it seems to cut two ways, but I think there's a lot of gems of great knowledge in this book, and it all stems from kind of Jungian sources in many ways. But there's a rule. One of the rules he lives by, and this is one of the rules I've worked by, is show me the same thing, only different. Right? We want to see the same things over and over as people because we're coded. We have a common thread in all humanity that we're coded anciently through our ancient codification to perceive dangers and interpret them culturally through our own context. So we have this unique opportunity with every generation, especially as we advance so quickly culturally and technologically, to reskin our ancient code, our ancient stories. So the rule is show me the same thing, only different. So Star Wars was show me King Arthur, but with space swords or laser swords. I mean, right? I mean, it.
Can you close the kitchen door, please?
We're all waiting till that door gets closed.
Yeah.
Okay. All good.
Yeah, you're just rebuilding archetypes, and you're going to have a lot of people saying that you're copying stuff, but there's nothing new under the sun. I can't make up something just whole cloth because I am the cumulative information of my freaking education, my existence, and everything I've ever watched in the media, right? So it's like it all comes in, you stick it in the blender. Hopefully it makes a nice smoothie and you pour it back out into a new cup.
Steve Dye says, I backed Red Rooster and kicked the girlfriend. I hope you didn't physically assault your girlfriend. Hopefully that means you just kicked her out of the house so you could afford the higher tier package of Red Rooster. I'm sure she was expensive. But now that you're free, you can back at the $500 tier and get an awesome Red Rooster sketch.
That is a commitment.
Feel free to back Lone Star after you kick the other girlfriend.
But when we tell our friends about things,
there you go.
Right, when regular comic fans tell their friends about things, whether it be a story or a movie or anything, they tend to, it kind of starts out like, oh, you remember so-and-so from this movie and so-and-so. It's like a combination of these things, right? And so how do you describe Red Rooster? Like your 5-second description of Red Rooster. It's
Norman Rockwell meets H.P. Lovecraft with a character I describe as Batman in a barn.
Batman in a barn.
So,
and sometimes I describe Mr. Miller's property as Captain America meets Supernatural, if you remember the television show.
Yeah.
It's still on. Even 12, I think.
I do think it helps to distill, and I've given this advice before, to think about your properties in its most distilled formation that you can. You're mixing a cocktail here, and you want your cocktail to be delicious, but also simple, so that you can tell your friends how to mix the cocktail, and they'll want to drink it too. So you want to make sure that, Joe. I'm going to call him Joe Sixpack. Joe the Plumber. Let's call him Joe the Plumber. That Joe the Plumber, when he and his 3 drinking buddies go to the movie theater, that they choose your movie. So you got to make the pitch and the poster and all of that sing so succinctly that he can make that pitch to his drinking buddies and say, "Oh, that was fun. That's so simple. That sounds awesome. Let's go see that." And then he can make the pitch for you to his friends. I think that's pretty good. I try to make sure all my projects I attempt that with all the projects anyway.
So the
Yes.
takeaway from that is Mitch wants to get you drunk.
Yeah, so, yeah, get you drunk and then lead you to Indiegogo, where you can back Red Rooster, Golden Age, and Lone Star by Mike Miller, and then maybe Cyber Frog if you have a few too many after that, and others. Trump Space Force.
Yeah.
Nasser's in the chat. His book is called Stardust. He asked me to plug it earlier. Anybody else you want to plug, Edwin?
Who do I want to plug? Well, Ben Henderson is. Hey, can I show you what Ben sent me? And I'm still kind of blown away by this. Okay, so I didn't ask for this. Didn't ask for any compensation. But I told everybody I would let you know if anybody ever gave me anything. So Ben Henderson from Cautionary Comics, Ravage. I checked my mail today, and he sent me this. I don't even know if I can. I've got to like back up to another room so you can see this thing. But it's the cover from Ravage. Kill All
Awesome.
Men. Yeah, I'm just really blown away. It's too much. I mean, it's.
Are you going to hang it above your headboard? Is the question everybody really wants to know.
I think we're going to be moving here in a couple months, and I'm going to set up a studio room, so it will have a place of prominence in my studio,
but not above your the headboard of your bed. That's
I'm sure
the
bed
will be crushed.
Remains undefiled, and that would be unpleasant to get ravaged by Ravage.
You're laughing in the background.
yeah. Mrs. B had a chuckle over that one.
On the side of the van.
Ben is great, though. Ben is great. What was I going to say? Next year, this time, though, I want to be talking to you two about doing a crossover, right? And I'm periodically, I'll remind you this. Having read both your scripts and treatments and talking to both of you at length, there are some like cool points where your characters could intersect, and it would be neat. And there's even some overlap and some tone. It would be, people go nuts, particularly once they have your initial offerings in their hands and they become familiar, and you've endeared yourself to these people with your characters, right? And they have these passion about your particular characters. Lone Star and the Unknown Soldiers, and the Red Rooster and the Order of the Dawn. Once people become familiar, like to put these two groups together. We got to talk later. Because it's a very organic matchup, and I know you both have a lot on your plate, and we're talking about in the future. But I wanted to like implant that bug in your head right now, so it can kind of ferment in there, and then eventually,
germinate.
Yeah.
So maybe the futurist could open a portal. And Salamandroid falls through it into a world inhabited by the Red Rooster and Lone Star, and they have to battle Salamandroid.
Oh.
But then they have to ally with him to end up fighting the werewolves until Cyberfrog can show up. And I don't know. I'm losing this thread. Sorry.
I think we got to bring in Mark Pellegrini on this one. We got to bring in Mark Pellegrini. So yeah,
he'll have to fix it all.
Next year, after you guys get out your first properties, got to return to this conversation.
Yeah. So my conversations with Mark Pellegrini are, no. Sometimes I actually come with a fully formed thought. Sometimes I actually do this, and he executes it beautifully. But sometimes it's like, Mark, I'm thinking about something like this. What do you think? And he just throws out some suggestions, and then we start kicking it back and forth, and then I say, okay, we're good, and he goes off and writes a script, and it's usually he always connects the dots. He lands it beautifully. So even if it looks like a messy somersault, he always sticks the landing.
Did the conspiracy theory board make its way to the office?
Conspiracy theory board.
All your Post-it notes and the pins and strings.
No.
Have y'all figured out who shot Kennedy yet? Or
let me show you what I got though. I got a cool. I don't know if I can turn this. You can see it a little bit. I'm afraid if I turn this too much, I'll unplug all my wires. Yeah. I got a in the corner. It's like a 7-foot by 4-foot whiteboard, reversible. So. I no longer need to
I was just trying to
turn
figure out
my
what,
living room into the wall in a beautiful mind and look like a crazy person.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out why that him the bikini on taking Red Rooster down some strange pathways, Mitch. Well, you know, Mike cheats too. Mike cheats too. So he wrote his stuff. He's sole source and everything. But then, who did you go out to help you with the script, Mike?
You mean Chuck?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. He was gonna. I mean, he was gonna help, but then he was so busy it was taking him too long, and so I kind of fleshed out the treatment myself. And then when I sent it to him, he was like, "What do you need me for?" So I'm gonna.
That's
got to
be some nice. There's got to be some nice validation though. That Chuck Dixon says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll run the script by it before I finalize, just to get some notes. I mean, I don't know if he wants to pipe in at that point, but you know, whatever. I know I'm being quiet. Someone in the chat said I was being quiet tonight, but I'm still decompressing, man.
How was your Lone Star? I'm curious because you had a plan for Lone Star during the convention. I haven't been watching your numbers. In fact, I should probably pull those up and chat about it and turn this into a telethon. So how was you had a plan to go to San Diego Comic-Con and have prints of Lone Star, cards, and get people to order the book on the spot. How did this work for you?
Yeah, the ordering the book on the spot thing, I dropped the ball on. It just didn't even come to my mind. I don't know why. Why didn't you remind me about this on Thursday?
I don't know. All I think about is selling chicken books. I mean, it consumes me.
Yeah, I handed out over 2,000. Hold on a second. Hey, stop. They're yelling in the other room. I gave out over 2,000 of those bookmarks. I have a little stack of them left. And I gave out a free Lone Star poster to every person who bought anything. So I gave out probably over 150 of those, and I told every single person, there's a 10-page preview. You can check it out. So I'm hoping that most people, they don't even look at their San Diego stash for a day or two or whatever. Can you hear that? Or I'm hoping you can't.
It's not too loud.
Okay. Children. Edwin's smiling. He likes it. But yeah, so I did that. I hope over whenever they get around to looking at it, they check out the Indiegogo. They check out the website. I mean, that's why I made the, LoneStarComic.com. That's why I bought it before the Indiegogo went live, so I could.
Throwing the link in the chat. So everybody in the chat, you can click this link. It'll take you to Lone Star. It is rocking and rolling at $27,589 by 456 backers. 20 days left.
Lone Star Squadron.
Lone Star Squadron.
So
Heart of the Hero.
Yeah.
What is
okay. What is what?
What is Lone Star Squadron?
Oh, that's my boys. That's every single person who backs Lone Star within the first 30-day window. They're gonna have special access to, whatever I can come up with to make it special. They're gonna get like patches and pins or whatever it is. I haven't decided 100% on what they get initially, but what they get and what I really want to do is dog tags with like their serial number on it. So like if you were the number one, that's your number. But it's only for the guys that back in those first 30 days. And because they're like my foundational guys, right? The foundational first movers on, because I'm not just doing Lone Star. Lone Star is the seed of my Blacklist universe of heroes. And I want the people who had the foresight to buy into it now to feel like they don't just get bragging rights, they get special rewards as time goes on. Whether it's like access to extra info or artwork or discounts to subscriptions or whatever it is, whatever I can come up with, it's going to be only for these people who are my first movers. And that's the Lone Star Squadron. And I like to tell them to call out and shout their numbers out on live stream. So if there's any Lone Star Squadron guys in this chat,
dog tags sound really cool. We're giving away, everybody gets an Order of the Dawn sticker. Stickers a lot cheaper to order than dog tags, especially if you number them one by one. I've always got Elizabeth watching my budget.
Yeah,
she's like, we want to deliver a great product, but like you, this is the seed capital for many things that we want to do, and also my wife likes designer shoes, so I have to accommodate both things.
A question occurs to me, though, and maybe you've said this before, but I don't think I've ever asked you this. Once you have Red Rooster, and once you have the Futurist, what is this enterprise called? So what is what is Brightweiser House? What is the company? What is the name of the company that publishes both Red Rooster, publishes the Futurist, and publishes whatever comes next? Because I've got a feeling there's going to be next.
I can't talk about it.
Gotcha. But you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. There's some concept.
Chinese.
I'm doing a lot more than thinking. I'll just leave it there. I'm doing a whole lot more than thinking. And there'll be some cool things coming soon, I think.
Sometimes when we do these telethons, we gotta give like value to people.
Freaking loud.
Can I read like just a page of the Lone Star preview? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hijack my channel for all I care. I'm gonna go take a bathroom break.
Absolutely. All right. So now, if you go on the Indiegogo, you can see the 10-page preview of Lone Star, and it's lettered, so you can get a taste of this. And so this is Lone Star is perched up on a building. Okay. I remember the world a little clearer than most. The air is different now, thicker, full of a seething, misdirected discontent, anger, resentment, entitlement. It's a world of spoiled children, raised by spoiled children, and raising little spoiled children of their own. Getting harder and harder to tell the good guys from the bad. In the sea of miscreants, or is it miscreants? I don't think that's the right word. Is it miscreants? Why am I asking you? You're a pigeon. I really need to write a notebook. I really need to bring a notebook and write this stuff down, or at least a magazine. Being a vigilante can get pretty boring some nights. I ever tell you how I know when someone needs my help? Yeah. I have this animal-like instinct that allows me to sense fear. That's my cue. And I'll let you read the rest on the Indiegogo page.
Oh, we lost Edwin. Ba-boom.
Oh, no.
After that dramatic reading, the miscreant evildoer himself.
Darn it.
The rage master of Comicsgate is gone.
I wonder what happened.
I don't know, Mike. You carry the show.
He ninja'd out.
That was at that time that we were on. Was it last? It was just last Sunday with. I think he deleted the stream though. Ben Henderson. I think he was a handful maybe of shots into his celebration, ending Ravage Kill All Men, and we were laughing and having a nice time. And he said he was just in the middle of like mid laugh. He says, "Gotta go." Whoop. Just boom. gone, and then we hijacked his show for like 15 minutes.
Oh,
Somebody says Edwin Lama Gigante says Edwin got trebucheted. Edwin, you got trebucheted all the way around the world and landed back in his seat. That's how accurate and sophisticated the propulsion is on Ethan Van Sciver's NASA designed trebuchets. Patent pending.
So yeah, Edwin does a great job voicing Lone Star. I'm gonna do a little bit of tweaking. I got those pages lettered off the first draft because I had promised that I would have lettered pages on the Indiegogo so people could have something to read, not just look at. But so yeah, first draft is not always the best draft. So hopefully I'll be able. Stop squeaking. You are squeaky squeakerton. So here's this is all I have left from all the. I had 2,400 of these things and I gave them all out. And awesome. Edwin wants me to somehow make these available to people. I don't know. Maybe I could put them up on my website for like $2. It couldn't cost me much.
I think we should rent a helicopter and throw them over Manhattan. Yeah, over Times Square.
Well, and Mitch, when are you ready to actually start doing pages?
I'm ready. I'm pretty much ready now. I'm gonna finish this poster that I've promised. I've got a lot going on that I just got a lot going on. I can't say what's going on. I would have loved to have a few more pages done. But there are like, I just can't talk about it. It's important stuff, but it is keeping me from drawing. I have enough time to do my streaming, promote my campaign. I'm in fundraising mode right now. So I kind of having to strike a balance between the things I'm working on.
And so what people don't understand is that this is actually recorded video, and right now Mitch is out on a hit. He's taking out an Iranian diplomat.
Yeah.
This is just the cover. The whole Kickstarter and everything. This is just a cover for Mitch's career as a professional assassin.
Hey Mitch, are you doing any other kind of advertising or anything for Red Rooster?
I did some promotions on Instagram. I don't know how. It's kind of hard for me to track how successful they were, but I think it did generate some traffic. What I'm trying to do is just propagate the message in the beginning and the middle of the campaign to as many people as possible that are kind of outside my network or on the margins of my network. And then in the last week of the campaign, just give them the countdown every day. Say, this is ending. This is 7 days, 6 days, 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, last day, and try to harvest as many of the people that I've reached on the margins of my network as possible. And that's kind of it. Also, I think it kind of makes us look. I don't know how people feel about that kind of stuff, but I didn't spend a whole lot of money. And if I just broke even on it, that's fine with me. Just so long as if I broke even on it and I got more eyeballs on the Red Rooster, then I can harvest. It's like planting seeds. I'll harvest them later, right? They may not back the Indiegogo, but they will be familiar psychologically with the character. So when they see it again, they're like, "Ooh, yeah, I've seen this," or "My friends were talking about it," or whatever.
Yeah, what is it they say in advertising? Someone has to see an ad at least like 7 times in order for them to.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing, and I'm trying to. I use I have 13,300 something people on Instagram, and it's kind of good for visual arts, and so I pushed there, and I felt like I got a pretty decent reach with my promotions. Mm-hmm. We set up a Facebook page. A gal here in the office set up a Facebook page for called Real Red Rooster. It's nice that she's kind of taking some time and running this, and it's in her voice. So that's kind of fun to have. someone else managing a page for the Red Rooster.
Yeah.
And that it's kind of nice because it's not everybody knows when it's in my voice when I'm pushing something.
Right.
So I think to see it that is cool for me, but also it kind of adds some legitimacy to the product and the character. What else am I doing? That's about it. I didn't pay. I'm not going to give Twitter any of my money, so I'm not going to promote there really. I mean, I'm not going to like pay for promotions.
Right.
There.
Oh, so you use the paid advertising option on Instagram?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I've done it on Facebook. I tried to do it on YouTube, but I think I screwed up and it didn't get approved. So I need to go back in and try to figure out what I did wrong. It was like I was doing it like the day before I had to go to San Diego. Actually, I live here, but I did it the day before San Diego started. So I was like, it would have been great to have it running properly. But yeah,
I've found that these little short videos have been very successful. With cutting a video with Elizabeth and myself in the car, and they're 15 Instagram stories are 15 seconds long. So and I've got I think I have I don't know if I have the largest in the Comics Gate community on Instagram, but it's not small sized, 13,000. So, and it's 13,000 different people than I have on Twitter by and large.
Yeah.
So I push the stories there, and you can get 15 seconds, and then I share them again on Twitter. And almost always after one of those things, I'll see some campaign backers roll in after that. And also I've made sure, and of course I have the Apple Watch, but I have the Indiegogo app on my iPhone, and I set it for notifications so that I can monitor when campaign contributions are coming in from the campaign, and so I can start to because the first few days was crazy, just boom, 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 like phone blowing up off the hook, which is kind of a fun experience. But now it's in a rhythm, and I'm kind of starting to notice the patterns of when people are apt to donate, and so I know what's working and what times are the best times to push, and that kind of stuff. So pretty much pushing 24/7 is the best thing you can do. Being live on Instagram or on YouTube is all the best you can do. And by my research, talking about Star Wars failures in the Lucasfilm are the absolute best way to crowdfund your comic books. I totally missed that boat.
Yeah, that's not my boat either.
So Red Rooster versus Rose Tico. Who comes out on top?
Hopefully Rose Tico.
I hope it isn't porn.
Okay, so I got a few people calling me out in the chat here. Let me. So if you call my name out, since I don't have super chats, if you call my name out, I'll try to read your chat. I am currently under review for monetization. It has been 2 weeks. They are dragging their feet because YouTube must hate me. I have done something evil.
Yeah, I'm under review too.
Yeah, it may take a while. They told me a week, and now it's been 2. Joseph Tran says, "Hey Mitch, just wondering if you've decided on any comic book or newspaper company that exists in your Red Rooster universe." Yes, there is a big town newspaper, and it plays a part in the ongoing story. But a comic book company, I haven't thought about that, but that's interesting. I'll give it consideration. Colonel Comics says, "I want a whole bunch of the bookmarks." So he called me out just to call you out, Mike. Let's see.
Colonel Comics away.
He's got a promo video now for his channel.
Oh, does he?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's
All
good
right,
stuff.
go check out his channel and watch his promo video. Nasser says, "So I don't think I ever heard your story of how you got into the industry. Can we hear it?" Yes, but not tonight. I'll whet your appetite. Gatori Hanzo says, "Mitch's CIA confirms." Yeah, I am Tom King's boss. I am a Comicsgate Tribble agent.
Nice.
So be on your toes. Let's see.
Did you get to meet Tom King's bodyguard there, Miller?
No, I did not. I saw something about that on Twitter. But alas, no. Sorry. I didn't get to see too many people. You know, I usually just spend as much of my time behind the booth as possible.
Well,
So,
yeah, that's the thing. If you're working a table, I mean, it's almost kind of like working a concession stand for like 12 hours a day, right? It's not
and
really fun for you. I mean, it is fun, but it's work.
yeah, and it was just me. My son didn't come in and help me this time, so if I left the table, it was me leaving money on the table. And so, on Friday, I did have a chance to walk down and meet my old friend JJ Kirby. I don't know if you guys saw that video. It was like we did an unboxing. He got this He-Man toy, and we did an unboxing. We talked about some stuff. He's an old Wildstormer. You know, known him for a quarter century. Great guy, and I want to try to get him on the. He's not a comic skater, but he's, you know, a fantastic artist and a guy I want to help him move into the YouTube space and just kind of follow the same path that we're all doing, but to his own, you know, unique particular audience. So if anybody knows who JJ Kirby is, he's awesome, fantastic artist. Go to my page and watch that video. You can see all kind of his artwork. We flip through his portfolio and whatnot, and told some old Wildstorm stories. So good times had by all. And I did talk to more than one who are one of us, who are undercover, you know, keeping their nose to their tables, keeping their politics to themselves because they are frightened of the repercussions of coming out as one of us. You know, signing their name on the Comicsgate dotted line and seeing the kind of repercussions that other of our friends have seen. I don't know if Mitch, I don't think you were in that conversation. Ethan and I were contacted by another friend.
Was this on Facebook?
Yeah. Were you in that one?
I was. Yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and another, you know, lefty artist wouldn't work with him, and so he lost his gig because it happens. You know, it happens, and so the fear is justifiable.
Just be fearless.
Yeah, you know, it's one thing to say that.
Yeah, I know it's not easy, but it never. If you have principles, it never hurts to stand on them. So I don't think there's any need to be afraid necessarily. I know it seems that way. The crazies are small in number in general. It's just that
unfortunately they're the ones signing the checks at the Marvel and DC.
But not for long.
Hopefully,
because it's not sustainable to behave this way. It's not sustainable to be cruel. It's not sustainable to mismanage your characters and your company and to hire on politics. This is doom. It is doom. Don't be afraid.
Yeah. Easier said than done.
Well, I think
I agree with you because obviously, you know, here I am. But you know, some of these guys, they're you know, not a lot of people are built to be pioneers. But you know, there's plenty of people ready to come move into your town after you've built it.
I'm counting on it.
Yeah.
I'm counting on all of you people out there listening who want to come in the second wave. So
it's going to look entirely different a year from now.
Yeah. So curious how it's going to be, you know.
Comicsgate related comics have now raised about 1.1 million. You know, between a relatively few number of people. I suspect,
and in only like 4 months.
3 months, a little over 3 months. Yeah, it's been a very short amount of time. Did you Oh, he's gagging. He's gagging. He's gonna throw up. Mitch, did you read the press release that I wrote? Like
I have not. No, I've been so busy. I haven't done it. Sorry. I'll check it out though.
All right. Is
there a place? Where's it at?
It's on. John Delarose posted it on his site. Was it delarose.com? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you wrote it, Mike?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a fairly concise overview. You know, I just thought that breaking the $1 million barrier was newsworthy and should be out there, and take the opportunity to define Comicsgate in a way that the leftist press refuses to, because they have their agenda and we have the truth. And so I wanted to try to take back the narrative. Unfortunately, my again, this was like right before I was running out the door to go to San Diego, and so I couldn't. My program was like jacking up the link, so I couldn't send it out and have it like hyperlink it and then send it out. But John did post it on his page, and apparently it did make some rounds, and it got a few feathers ruffled on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So I guess it served part of its purpose.
Well, I love ruffled feathers. That's kind of my thing. Check out Red Rooster Golden Age on Indiegogo.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Okay. Well, so you're talking about the comic book press is what you're talking about. When you say leftist press, I almost hate to give them that much credibility. I don't know that. I mean, they probably are generally more left wing. I'm probably slightly more libertarian right wing than the general comics press. But I don't know why they're not covering this stuff, except that they must be just as afraid as some other people are. Because this is interesting stuff, big audiences. It could be any number of reasons. They could be broke and dependent upon other revenue streams. I don't know. I'm going to leave my. I'm not going to
speculate.
I'm not going to speculate. I speculate internally about the motivations of journalists and whatnot, but and profiles, the general profiles of them as well. I leave all that to my internal mechanizations, and I'll keep it to myself. So let me read some more chats here. There's a lot of people, since I called for tagging me, a lot of people decided they wanted to do that. Is there any chance of Edwin popping up in Red Rooster and Lone Star, kind of like Stan Lee with the Marvel Universe? Ooh, that's interesting. Maybe. How about you, Mike? You going to do that?
That sounds fun. That sounds fun.
Well, maybe we'll make that happen.
I'll be the bus driver.
That is ridiculous. That sounds like a horrible idea. Don't do that. Oh, but I do when stuff gets closer though. We do need to make another Red Rooster promo. So I want to do some of the stuff I read off from Mike. Once he finishes that dialogue, once he finishes it, where he's got the final version, I think we're going to do a radio play with it. But yeah, I do need to sit down this weekend and make another Red Rooster promo. I'll hit you up.
Use it.
Your timeline, and I really want to do one with one of the time lapse photos again, and I got to give that some thought because I like those the short little promos based on your time lapse drawings. Those things are so much fun.
Then you, what kind of mood are you going for? And then I'll try to do one that matches the mood.
I don't know. You think we should go big adventure, or I almost wanted to do something with the Foundation Man though, because he's so spooky. But there's nothing there yet.
Yeah, I think if we just focus on, it can have this dark twist to it, and this sort of, I don't know. I think it needs to be kind of a call to action.
Yeah, call to action. Okay, we'll talk offline. But yeah, I wanna get another one in before the campaign ends because I want. So here's my goal with all this stuff. Like I want Mitch to get enough seed corn, enough seed corn, so that he can grow something that will perpetuate itself. I want Mike Miller.
I would like to incubate more eggs. I want to hatch a lot of properties.
Lots of hot chicks.
Yeah, and lots of hot chicks is the goal.
But the same thing I want for you, I want from Mike Miller too, with the Blacklist universe, because he's got like this follow-on property called the Nuclear Family that just sounds so cool, and it's not like old-fashioned wholesome, but it sounds like just basically adventurous and like something that you could read with your 8-year-old. So you could read it with an 8-year-old, an 18-year-old, or an 80-year-old, and it would all be good, right?
Interesting.
How do you describe the Nuclear Family? That's Honey Meets the Kids. Honey Meets the Kids.
Honey, I Shrank the Kids.
Fantastic Four. Yeah.
More Honey I Shrunk the Kids meets The Incredibles. Because it's more focused on the family than it is focused on their superhero. Because I think that's where they kind of fell apart with Fantastic Four. Is first of all, they're not all family. I mean, they're family, extended, whatever. But this is it's all family. So it's like The Incredibles in that sense, and it is more focused on their relationship as a family who happen to be put in this position of being superheroes. So, yeah.
Cool. I want to hear more about it. Wildcard Productions says, what inspired the Golden Age vibe or setting? And it was literally just the drawing I made of the character one day after doing some Captain America pages in my sketchbook. And I wrote next to it the Red Rooster. And from that moment on, he was a Dust Bowl era superhero. Nice. He's not a mystery man, mask vigilante. And the more I tried to kind of take him out of that time and drop him in other times, it just never clicked. And so it always came back to this sort of 1930s time period. And it's worked out very, very well for us. But that doesn't mean the Red Rooster will stay there. There will be, it's a mantle passed from generation to generation. So the possibilities are, in fact, endless. And he has many allies in his Order of the Dawn network. So prepare for more. Gabe 301, you should talk to Yellow Flash about waiting for monetization. Yeah, I heard you had to wait a while. We are slightly more edgy than Yellow Flash, so YouTube will probably reward us for skirting the boundaries here. Josh Shelby says, like the Watchmen kind of sidebars. I don't know what that was in reference to. Shuru says, I've described the Red Rooster to a friend as a Booster Gold who's supposed to be Batman while training Robin, experiences an Icarus story. Am I far off? No, you are not. I like that very much. It is very much a Icarus style story because he's a celebrated vigilante folk hero who in fact flies a little bit too, he's a chicken that flew too close to the sun. And you will see what happens, and his enemies exploit this.
Is one of his
eggs fried? He gets his horns.
Is one of his enemies going to be called the Colonel?
No, but I came up with one today. Actually, it was last night. I said, Elizabeth, what if we had a turkey-themed? Should I go there? I'm not sure if I should go here. I'm waiting on monetization. So I had a turkey-themed villain. And he's against the Red Root. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Okay.
Don't go there.
Well, you can. I'll let the chat. I'll see if the chat can figure out what the name of my turkey-themed villain who's against the Red Rooster.
Turkey-themed.
It rhymes with a rock goblin. So.
The Gobbler. Very close. You got half of it right. Micro toast.
No. All right, gentlemen. This is a family.
This is a family show.
Yeah,
the mother plucker.
No, gentlemen.
These shows get crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's the chat. They steered in a bad direction.
Yeah, it's not the after hour show. Well, you got to keep all the pickle jars in the cabinet.
Jamie Ramirez Art says, when will you be working on actual pages for Red Rooster? After the campaign, will you be live streaming the process? Yes, yes, and yes. 3 yeses. I do plan on live streaming plenty of it. I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. But if you are that crazy that you want to stitch together every single live stream and try to figure out the story, then you probably deserve to figure it out before it's done. Outpatient says you should license out America Chavez and make her convert to a Christian housewife and a soccer mom of 4.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I still don't have any interest in Marvel's licenses. So, but yeah, nice offer.
I hear him. I hear you.
Are we going to see multiple Red Rooster, says Denali? Maybe not in the same book. Not in the same book. There's usually only one at a time, but that sometimes has complications. I'll leave that there.
It's like the War Doctor episode of Doctor Who, where you happen to see Tom Baker. Do you watch Doctor Who?
It's been a while. The most recent ones were so daggum boring. I couldn't stand them.
Well, Tom Baker showed up. Tom Baker showed up in this giant crossover episode, and it was cool. You know Tom Baker, the curly-haired dude from the 80s, 70s, 80s. Yeah, so he showed up, like, you know, with the other Doctor, and he was talking to him about, you know, maybe he'll visit some others, you know, some older faces later on. It was a really cool moment for me because Tom Baker's like, you know, I grew up with him, so
yeah.
Denali, I just answered that. Nasser says if Stardust gets to 5.7K tonight, you'll reveal the name. I'm pretty sure I've already revealed the name, the face, and the hair is Mr. Edwin Boyette. Rackus Wolfstar. It sounds like a name for one of your villains to fight Lone Star. Silver Fox is the perfect villain for Red Rooster. In the ongoing series, there is a Mr. Fox, and Mr. Fox is the DA.
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah.
Yes, and he also is the proprietor of the hen house. And that's all I'll say. You can imagine what that is.
This is for kids, so
it's just a cabaret dance club and pool hall.
It's the best little hen house in Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's owned by Tyson Chicken. Critia says, son of chick, you mother cluckers crazy. Yeah, he went there.
He did.
And Adam, this is my last one. Adam Skasel says, will there be a Red Rooster that was involved in the Civil War? I've sort of skipped over that. Civil War it's hard to do any fiction.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just hard to do anything with it. Like, I want a Red Rooster at the Alamo. The Civil War is just too brutal and too nasty.
But the Revolutionary War is perfect.
It is. I want one as one of Washington's spies. Like, I'm thinking maybe an escaped slave who becomes one of Washington's chief spies. And of course, George Washington would be an Order of the Dawn member.
Could you make him an escaped Irish slave?
Oh, interesting. Like a bond servant, one of the indentured servants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
with a shocking red hair.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, maybe.
Those bloody gingers.
You know, this is the neat thing, though. This is the neat thing about the potential of the Rooster, though, is that you can travel up and down time. You know, depending on what you feel like, where you want to go with it, and it can work. Yeah. Yeah,
I've actually worked out the origin. I think everyone will be very. I'm not going to reveal it here, obviously. Duh.
Come on, spill all your beans. No surprises. We don't like surprises.
But I figured it out. It needs to get told in the story, it may get told around maybe like a campfire, and it's because I want it to send chills up your spine and almost not show it, but show the telling of the origin story.
Oh, interesting.
That's kind of the way I want to present it, because it's that mysterious.
Make this thing good though. So once you publish this, we'll do a radio play out of that origin story, and that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be a lot of fun.
I have a question. Is there a nationalist or a genetic lineage to the red rooster, or is it sort of circumstantial?
It's I mean, it started. Yeah, no, it's not. There's no nationalist, no nation state lays any claim to the red rooster. It's a set of ideals that transcends time and borders as they meander over time and everything. So it's a set of ideals that resonates through history.
Well, you can say the same thing that I've said before, and Miller will get it immediately. We wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Dan White says, hey, Mitch, does Red Rooster take place in Arkansas? No. It takes place in a fictional Americana America in many ways, where we don't name cities or states or towns, but it definitely is inspired by my growing up. I was born here, grew up here, and now I live here. So that's probably going to transmit.
It's a fictional place called Arkansas.
Yeah. We ain't in Arkansas anymore.
Sierra Whiskey, stop talking about nipples.
Well, now he's just going to talk about nipples all the time. You know how this works.
Didn't somebody tag Cebulski with that? What did they say? They said he's as useful as male nipples. And so now this is one of the YouTubers. I forget. Oh, my wife says it was Zach. Yeah, says Cebulski's nickname is now male nipples.
So you're laughing again.
Yeah.
I think we're doing it right.
That's Mrs. Silver Fox.
All right. Well, go ahead.
I was going to ask Miller when he's going to start doing what you're doing, because every now and then when I'm at work, I'll turn on when you're doing your gesture drawings and listen to a little bit of that. But it looks like a lot of people tune in to watch you do that.
I was actually going to do one of those tonight. I mean, I was just going to draw some Lone Star and start talking some Lone Star a little later on my stream, just and then, try to bounce in and out of chat and answering questions. But yeah, it's time to get back to drawing some stuff on YouTube. So
yeah, I've been doing it. I've been trying to do it every morning if I can get to it, and it's been fun. I think people enjoy it. It's kind of hard to monitor the chat, but yeah. I do like taking the videos and then condensing them down to about a minute long and playing them back for people on Twitter and Instagram. And those seem to go over pretty well.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I had to close one out real fast the other day. You were drawing some lady in what was the word you used? It was a $5 word. Diaphanous.
Diaphanous.
Hey, no.
But there was like a little nude sketch, and of course, about this time, one of my coworkers comes up and it was porn. It was porn.
Oh, it wasn't. But I do. It's what's weird is I'm in an office now, and I hope I don't get in trouble. I mean, other people work here with other clients and everything. So, I mean, I don't really think about these things.
It wasn't porn, but it was a beautiful depiction of
of Jenna Jameson, still from about 2002. You wouldn't call it porn. I don't know.
She's a conservative now, isn't she? Or
yeah, I just started following her. I think she's kind of been on my radar for a little while.
Okay, is that what maybe it was you following her? Something?
No, Ethan. She had some kind of exchange with Ethan.
Oh, really?
Recently,
yeah, she popped
I don't
up
know
on my Twitter, and I'm like, wait, that Jenna Jameson?
Yeah, I don't know. I figure I'll give her a follow and see what she's about these days.
Yeah.
It better not be porn.
I think she's married now and religious and has children. I think she's I think she's chosen a different path for herself.
That's good.
Interesting.
God bless her.
Well, that's interesting. I always like it when it's always interesting when people change or metamorphosize in such dramatic ways, because then you think, well, that's either a crazy person or a thinking person, and you want to investigate.
Yeah. But you want to? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Transformational stories are always interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that is a story. That is a story indeed. All of the best stories have great characters with great character arcs, where they manifest change and transformation. Yes.
Yeah. If your character hasn't changed by the end of your story, then your story didn't serve a purpose.
Yeah.
For the character, or for the audience, frankly. So that's just basic writing.
Basic storytelling.
Yeah, basic storytelling. There's got to be something that changes about the character that made the journey worth taking.
Ben Ponchetti says Red Rooster's at $98,076. That's exciting, but it hasn't moved the whole doggone time we've been chatting. So there's 200 people in the chat.
Mine hasn't moved either.
I'm going to throw your link up in the chat too. So let's move the needle for Red Rooster. I'm throwing the link in the chat right now.
How many people are in the chat?
There were 216 maybe.
Oh,
yes.
Let me do my general pitch. And because this works for both of you. All right. So everybody watching Mike and everybody watching Mitch, we want to see this stuff get made. And not just the one shots and done, right? This is not about harvesting dollars and flying off to Cuba and living out your life as a watercolor painter.
Speak for yourself.
It's about building something and making something, right? And not just this project, but the projects that come after. And so a lot of times our audiences, we have the same audience. We've kind of become like a large extended family, and we all know each other, and we've heard the same message. But some of you know people who aren't on Twitter, who aren't on Facebook, who haven't heard it. Share it with some of your friends that might not have heard it on YouTube or heard it on Twitter, and help get the word out there. Because I have to imagine that some of your friends enjoy the same things that you enjoy, right? And would be excited about this stuff if they had a chance to encounter it. So it doesn't matter if you even only have 5 Twitter followers. Get it out to somebody else. Get it out to somebody outside of Twitter, outside our normal space. Tell them about it. Be an advocate so we can make these things huge, right? So that we have an alternative, that we have a strong foundation of good storytellers who are going to make stuff for us, not just this year and next year, but for the next decades. And let's establish a new pattern, and let's make something fantastic for the rest of our lives. So that's my pitch.
Good pitch.
Beautiful.
I'm tearing up.
My pitch is you don't want to miss this, because these are going to be collector's items. You will own a piece of comic book and pop. Oh, somebody contributed. I didn't have to finish my spiel. $25.
Nice.
You can own and possess and covet and display and show all your friends your signed copy, preferably with a sketch in it for $100, of Red Rooster Golden Age. And it will be worth, I'm trying to make a book that will be worth, it will be valuable, so much so that you don't want to sell it, but it will be valuable beyond the monetary value that you contribute to this campaign on this day. So if I see these things going on eBay in a year or two from now for $45, $55, $65, $105, my mission here will be done. And all of you will be made wealthier by your support, encouragement, enthusiasm, in exchange of currency for chicken-based superhero comic books. And Lone Star.
And Lone Star.
I think we've got a new member of the Lone Star Squadron. Looks like it's the Outpatient. So the Outpatient is a newest member of the Lone Star Squadron.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Welcome to the squadron. Right on. Yeah, I mean, that sounded great, Mitch. I'll ditto that. But you know, I just want to build something.
Somebody
Yeah.
just refunded for $37, so I ruined that pitch. Yes, that went terrible. I'm never trying that again. But let me see if this is a visible. Let me mention this. This is a visible contribution. Tungsten Tan. That may be a real name. It may not be. Thank you very much. Tungsten has just bought an original page of artwork. Including
wow.
a
Cool.
matching
Oh, wow.
color print on 13 by 19 gallery quality paper by Elizabeth Breitweiser. A signed page of all of this will be signed, and the matching page of script signed by Mark Pellegrini, and also includes the Order of the Dawn package, and a signed comic book or two. I can't remember exactly what it all includes, but that's a big
Big
purchase.
yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
thank you, sir or
Yeah.
madam.
Hey, let's be generous and gracious tonight. And Nasser 13 showed up with, I mean, just a pair of brass ones, right? Showed up in your house and told you what was up. So for his boldness, if you've already backed the Breitweisers, if you've already bought in to the Red Rooster, you've already become a member of the Lone Star Squadron. Stop and take a look at Stardust on Indiegogo.
Here, I'll throw the link in the chat. Indiegogo Stardust. All right, NASA, we're going to do you a solid. All that I ask is you only bother me one more time in this particular stream, but you can get back on my case tomorrow.
No more shaming. I just want to put it out there. I know Mitch is hard at work, hustling and doing everything he has to, and clearly doing a better job at it than I am. But my book is scheduled to come out in September, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be the first Comicsgate book that anyone can actually get their physical hands on. And I just wanted to show you guys that this is the book. This is going to be a really quick preview, but so don't take snapshots. I've got the first 20 pages already done in the bag, so getting the other half of the book done, another 18 pages or 28 pages. Yeah, I'll be hard pressed not to hit September. So that's why I scheduled it for September, because I want to get this one out, done, and have time to start on next quarter's issue, because I'm going to be doing these quarterly. So if you want something in your grubby little hands within the space of two and a half months, is that right? Is that where the end of September? Because I'm going to give myself to the end of September. I don't want to be too too risky with it. But yeah, then get out there, LoneStarComic.com. Not Lone Star Comics. That's a comic book store in Texas. But LoneStarComic.com, and check it out. If you like the preview pages, then please, drop some shekels my way, and then get out there and tell your friends, your family, and people that you haven't talked to for 20 years, but they love comic books. Drop it in their lap, drop it in their email, whatever it takes, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate every single person that supports or even just shares the information.
I'm done.
Okay, let me do a campaign update. Refresh my screen. Lone Star, Heart of the Hero, $27,684.
Oh, nice.
We have raised. We've moved the needle a little.
Yeah, I think he must have bought like $100 package, or whoever it was. I forget the guy's name.
That's awesome. Wonderful. And another one just rolled in for Red Rooster Golden Age. We are getting daggum close to 100,000. Let me refresh this.
Wow.
$99,119 raised by 1,626 backers with just 12 days left.
Crazy.
It is
That's crazy.
And Mike, your purchaser was a gentleman named the Outpatient. He's here in our chat.
Oh, right on, Outpatient. Thank you, brother.
And then Mitch's purchaser, I believe, is in our chat, or was Tungsten.
I hope I didn't embarrass them. They made a public. It was a public contribution.
Well done.
You're my hero. Thank you.
Yeah, well done, man.
I think you'll have a treasure. I don't want to give up this original artwork.
Oh, I just got another one. It's working. It's working.
It's Mitch's chicken jokes. Pictures, right?
Yeah.
They penetrate to the deeper recesses of the human psyche and make you want to part with some dollars.
So, Mitch, as part of your creative process, do you eat eggs every morning?
I don't eat or sleep anymore. That's not every morning. No. But
Well, that's
I'm gonna inviting someone else into the chat here, a buddy of mine.
Oh yeah.
Give me 1 second. You guys carry the show, no pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So you're gonna start drawing on stream though, Mike. You're gonna pick that up.
Yeah, I was gonna do that. Actually, I was kind of planning on doing it because Ethan said he was gonna do a thing today, and I was like, oh well, I get in there and just have my screen set on me, like drawing while everybody else is talking, and it would just pop in here and there, and people could be at least a little bit more entertained than looking at a cartoon of my face or looking at this thing here, because this is not entertaining to anyone.
Now, how hard is it for you to maintain that conversation? Is it getting easier to maintain a conversation while you draw?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that my whole life. In fact, I miss that because when I was growing up, we didn't have YouTube and whatnot. So I'd either be listening to music, listening to talk radio, or I'd put on my Plantronics headset, I'd plug it into my phone, I'd roll through my Rolodex and just call people and start talking, and I would just talk until we were done, hang up with them, call the next person, because I would draw just relentlessly, right? Draw, go to the bar. That was like that was my life for a good number of years. So yeah, talking and drawing is nothing. Although, except for when I'm doing layouts, I just need it quiet, because layouts is my thinking process. And so, yeah, I need quiet. Same thing with when I'm writing, right? I can't have a bunch of voices in my head while I'm writing. It's the same thing when I'm doing layouts. My right brain is like on full tilt, designing a page, laying it out. But honestly, that doesn't take me very long. I have a video of me doing a layout for I think it was the Mystery Night. It's an 11-minute video. I did the layouts for the whole page in 11 minutes. Oh, wow. But after that, it's all, once I know where I want someone to be, and what general position I want them in, it's all just adding shape, structure, and detail. I don't do a lot of lighting, because I like to leave my lines open for coloring. So yeah, shape, structure, detail, backgrounds, and all that is just like, it's like, when you're like sitting on the phone and you're just doodling. That's what that is to me. It's just like,
I think about the light first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like if you see me bring, I don't know. I just think we everybody has a different process. I think about, like, I'll start working in gray washes and tones in Photoshop, and that's where my drawings begin. I work out like the really basic, like the light source, the forms, and then I start to like figure out kind of where my perspective is sitting, and then I start to construct a scene around, like basically some washes, essentially. Hey, we got a friend, Chris.
Hey guys,
how's it going?
How's it going,
Chris?
Chris, this is my buddy Chris McCroskey, legend in his own mind, and in many others. This is Edwin Boyette. You probably have seen these guys around before, and Mike Miller of Lone Star. Sounds like a comic book right up your alley, Chris.
Absolutely.
Chris is from the Lone Star State.
Right on. Which city?
So I'm from Lufkin, Texas. I don't know if you know where that is. It's small.
Lufkin. Yeah.
Lufkin. Deep in the woods. So
Nice.
I wanted to jump on and join you guys, show you what a real Brightweiser fan looks like. So I'm going to hit some of my original artwork here. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So you guys picking that up?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you may have to keep the talking while you're doing it, Chris. So
you got to keep talking.
Mitch,
okay.
just
so
click on his picture.
I see. I'll put you front and center, present to everyone.
All right.
What she said.
Cool. You guys seeing this?
Yeah.
So Chris fancies himself as the largest single private holder of Brightweiser artwork in the world. He may well be correct.
In the world.
Nice.
So
have you gotten the Red Rooster tattoo yet, though?
Like you, Edwin. So whenever you're ready, you let me know. I know some places in Dallas will be taken care of.
We could get some roosters tattooed beneath our knee. Yeah. maybe up on a gallows. We'll get roosters on a gallows stage right beneath their knee.
Yeah, I don't know, something about cocks and below your knee. I don't know if that's good.
We hint, we suggest, we never. Yeah. That's nice, man.
And then let's see see if I've got any original Red Rooster here. I do. So, can you guys see that?
May have to fixate on it for a minute.
There it is.
Yep. So that one will get framed next.
Nice.
But anyway, just wanted to give a shout out. One of the best ideas I think I've been collecting since I was 10. I've got about 20,000 comics in my collection.
Ooh. Wow.
The Red Rooster is something that I've encouraged Mitch to do for a couple of years now, huh, Mitch?
Maybe more. Yeah. Maybe 4 years. Yeah, since I've been talking about it.
So,
yeah.
What made you a fan of Mitch? What particular piece jumped?
Oh, he's got a story to tell.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Mitch and I met at a comic book convention. 12 years ago in November. I was running a charity called Heroes for Heroes. We sent entertainment care packages to the troops, mostly comics, video games, that type of thing. We set up a comic book shop in Freedom Rest, which is an R&R facility in Baghdad, things like that. Anyway, I was running my first live art show, and I met Mitch. And I was telling Mitch about it, and Mitch said, hey, if you want me to draw at your live art show, I'd be more than happy to. And I was like, really? I was like, well, what work have you done? And he's like, well, I'm working on this secret project for Marvel. And I was like, okay, sure you are, right? Because everybody's working on a secret project. So I completely blew Mitch off. Said, no, I think we're good. We're full up.
That's always the right choice.
Hey, always, right? We weren't best friends as soon as we met. That's for sure. But about a month later, the Captain America stuff came out from Marvel and just blew me away. And I told my wife, I'm like, I've met this guy. He wanted to do our live art show, and I completely blew him off. So I reached back out, told him how phenomenal the work was, immediately invited him to be, one of our top guys for our next live art show, which he, graciously accepted. To that point, when Mitch came on, I actually pre-sold Mitch's piece. This is how hot Mitch was. I pre-sold his piece for more than I'd raised at the previous live art fundraiser. So when everybody got to the show, I had hung sold on Mitch's blank canvas.
Well,
so let me tell you, people were not happy that the bid on his art. It was a fantastic Captain America. And again, I raised more money on that one piece months before the show even started. I had pre-sold it. We had a great show, and then from then on in, Mitch was one of our biggest contributors to the charity. And we raised a ton of money off of Brightweiser artwork, and a lot of it. Well, not a lot of it, actually. Yeah, this one piece. I don't know if you guys can. Awesome Captain America there. But that was the one piece that I couldn't let anyone else get. And I think I entered a bidding war with some art dealers and some other guys. So luckily, all the money went back to the charity, and it was a great cause. And, we got comics and video games and DVDs into the hands of our soldiers. But
nice.
That's how our relationship started off. Pretty rocky.
So when you called Mitch back, did you eat a little crow? Did you humble yourself, or how'd the conversation go?
Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, not this guy.
Hey, wussy, I guess we do have room for you after all.
Right. It was something. Now let me also lay this out there. If you guys can imagine this, Mitch was wearing a pearl snap, kind of, updated, like modern cowboy shirt. He had these really pointy cowboy boots on. I mean, it was phenomenal dress for for Dallas, Texas. But and he was working on a secret project that no one had ever heard of before. And
gotcha.
If you guys have ever been in Artist Alley, you've heard all the secret projects guys are working on for the big companies. Yeah.
Hey, I was glad to hear you donated to the troops. I actually have that as one of my options on my Indiegogo. So.
Well, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic cause. We get a ton of guys that are serving overseas, and I'll tell you, those guys, when they get this stuff, when they get comics and, really pop culture, but comics especially, because they can be, very similar to the old days of comics when, you'd have 250, 300,000 prints of a Superman, but millions of people would see it because 10 or 15, 20 different people would actually read that comic. They weren't collectible items. They weren't stuck in passed around. And that's exactly what happens overseas. Lots of those guys get their hands. It's something that, it makes them feel at home. And I think a lot of times we also forget that a lot of these guys are, 18, 19, 20 years old. We forget about that. So that's a great thing. And if you can do that, man, I know they'll appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to be able to get them to every single one out there. But, that'd be kind of pricey.
When I was in Bosnia, we'd go out on these patrols and stuff, and then you come back, and you're just looking at like these boring walls in your base camp. And your base camp, our little base camp, was all muddy and gray, and you're seeing the same people over and over again. And you're tired of smelling their feet. You're tired of smelling their stink breath. And you need a little bit, you need a couple moments of escapism to get away, because you're away for 6 months, for a year. You're not going to see your wife. You're not going to see the people you love. You're just stuck with, in our case, I was in the infantry, so stuck with a bunch of dudes. You just need to get out of your settings for a little bit. And a good comic book or a good story could do that.
And, I mean, this is the quintessential American art. Folks, and it just brings everything. I can tell you, if I pull a comic from my collection, I may hit one or whatever, but it immediately brings you back to that. These guys have when they're getting these comic books and reading them. It's a different time. I mean, if you were in Bosnia and how it was, it's a lot of hurry up and wait. So some great opportunity to pass the time, great comic books, and to know that the people back home are really thinking about you. So, Mitch was a great contributor for Heroes. He did a lot of work for us, raised a lot of money so we could send guys, we sent tons of comic books. I mean, and you know, without Mitch, I don't know if we brought Mitch on. We started bringing on a lot bigger marquee artists to work in our live art shows. So, you know, I don't know if I've ever told you that I appreciate it. Guys, that you know, we're.
I think Chris just started pouring his heart out, and
His phone couldn't take it.
And then his phone couldn't take it. Yeah, exactly.
Sierra Whiskey says, as a Marine vet, 04 to 09, getting new material in during a deployment is like Christmas. So, yeah, I mean, I really encourage and I really promote whenever somebody buys one of those for the troops tiers, because you know that's my favorite thing to have happen out of all my other stuff. I love it, and I want to support them as much as possible. And hearing that, you know, how much you guys love getting this stuff, that just encourages me more. I wish there was some way I could do more. I'll figure it out.
I know I'm not gonna reveal this person's name, and I had a phone call with a formerly big time writer just a few months ago. This was about a year and a half ago, after I'd gone through some real crap in this business. He left the business, I think, I think he very wisely did. Maybe he's listening tonight. I know he keeps up with me. He said that he went out of his way, he has some connections in the military, spent some political capital, went up the food chain to a general, and got access, opened the channel essentially for Marvel to put books like, I don't know, The Punisher, Captain America, Avengers in commissaries. And there's another word for it too. I can't think of it. But basically they were totally open to the idea, and they just didn't care. They didn't pursue it. They didn't even pursue it. And this guy went way out of his way to do this, and just didn't care. It was just money. I was just laying on the table. That's the way he pitched it. He told me about it anyway. So unbelievable, right? Unbelievable. Yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know if it was just they didn't just not an avenue they were interested in pursuing, or if I don't want to ascribe. I never want to ascribe any malicious motivations to that kind of thing. Maybe they just weren't interested. But it's something I'd be very, very interested in. Very, very much so.
Well, gentlemen, I've got to fix some water or fix some dinner for the wife.
Well, no, just give her water. Hot water is good enough for my wife. Water. It's good enough for yours.
Chris, it was very nice to meet you. Sounds like you're doing some good things. So keep trucking with us.
It was a pleasure. Yeah. Thanks.
See you, Edwin. I do need to probably wind this stream down. And I got to get onto the house, get to bed, and get up early tomorrow, the next day. Tomorrow is always the next day. That's how late it is.
Until it's not.
Until it's not. I did have some updates. Pete Mack says we are $194 away from a $28,000 night on Lone Star. So join the Lone Star Squadron. Have you joined the Lone Star Squadron, Chris?
Chris is locked up. He's frozen in carbonite.
I'm sure he has.
No, I need to check it out.
Okay, check out Lone Star.
Am I frozen up?
Yeah,
no, you're back.
It's LoneStarSquadron.com. That'll forward you straight to the Indiegogo.
I'll check it out.
Oh wait, no, LoneStarComic.com. Sorry, I got my squadrons mixed up. LoneStarComic.com. Hey, I should grab LoneStarSquadron.com too while I'm thinking about it.
And Red Rooster Golden Age is at $99,224. You guys crushed it tonight. Thank you so much. Yeah, this was a great night to stream. The audience has been awesome. And don't forget about Stardust, says Nasser. So don't forget to check out Nasser's Stardust. I think he is doing really well. 150% of his goal already. Check out Nasser's Stardust.
Yeah, and if you guys are bored and want to watch me draw, I'll probably jump on in probably 10 or 15 minutes to do a live drawing fireside chat type dealio. So, yeah, Blacklist Universe on YouTube. And subscribe to me, please. That would be
Yeah,
wonderful.
well, you did your plug without my invitation, but that's okay. Chris, do you want to plug anything?
I'll plug. Again, a character that's already dear to my heart. I've got to take a look at the script beforehand. Thank you, Mitch, for trusting me enough to take a look at it. I'm just ridiculously excited about getting it. And as you know, I've hit up a lot of people in my network to back it as well. I think it's going to be something special. And if you want to get in, now is the time.
Now is the time. Today is the day. The hour is calling you now. So there you go.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Link is in the chat. I'm going to stop the broadcast. If you want to hang out for a minute, we can chat offline. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Aloha.